Hello and welcome to Brewskis and Housekeys. I am Nicole Kostelecki.
And I'm Nick Papantanakis.
And we are here at Remax Alliance in Old Town Arvada. As always, enjoying some brews and talking to you about real estate.
And excited about it. Although last episode was still during Lent, so we weren't enjoying brews then,
Yeah,
right?
we had kombucha.
We had
that
kombucha.
was lame. This is way better.
Which is a good substitute when you can't. But we are back we're back off the wagon?
Yeah.
What's the term?
Tastes even sweeter.
Back on the wagon, off the wagon. Yeah. We're drinking beer.
The wheels have fallen off the wagon.
There we go. I think that is the best description.
I think
of
they've
where we're
gotten
at.
back on.
I sold the wagon to pay for beer.
Yeah, there we go. Who needs a wagon?
Not
What
even on
wagon?
the wagon.
What wagon? It's true. It's been a minute since we've done an episode, but we are happy to be back in this room.
Yep.
Happy to be back with all of you faithful listeners and enjoying some beer. But let's see what has happened since we last spoke.
Oh, wow. I mean, it's spring.
It is
Easter
spring.
happened.
We did have Easter.
We had Easter, so hence why I'm drinking. Praise the Lord.
You made it.
And then
You made it to the finish line.
Yep. And then I have been golfing a little bit. But did
Good.
you watch the Masters?
I don't watch it very often every year,
gosh.
but I did watch
I'm
some of it this
obsessed.
year. I had a whole day where I was working out of the Golden office. Nothing to do on a Friday, not a lot of foot traffic. Pretty darn happy about that TV being right there by that couch.
Yeah. It was exciting. There was a lot
Extremely.
of weather. I mean, Friday was like super duper windy.
40 mile an hour winds or something like that.
And then some of the people that went off late on Thursday, they didn't get to finish, so they had a long day on Friday. But anyways, it was awesome. And then my dad, he always does this, the Masters party. Like you can buy a Masters like kit. So they send you food. Okay. So they send you the pimento cheese, the egg salad.
Oh my gosh.
Some cookies, some chips, some barbecue pork, some like kettle corn type stuff.
What?
And then you get the cups too and some paper and it was really cool.
Did you get the little pencil?
There wasn't a pencil. Damn. Oh wait, there's like
the score pencil.
No, we didn't have that, but there's a toothpick with like Masters flag on it.
I mean, that's pretty sweet.
Yeah, and then I set up a little putt-putt course in the house, downstairs and outside, and it was really funny. It was
Not
good.
for the kids, for you.
It was more for the adults. The
Right.
kids didn't even do it. I was like, what the heck?
Come on.
I know. I know.
And
I was
Nicole's the
disappointed.
best. Come on.
Yeah, they wouldn't do it, but that's okay. Us adults had fun.
You're darn right you did.
It was good.
Oh my gosh.
It was pretty
Well,
funny.
I loved the added drama of Scotty Scheffler and his wife potentially going into labor. And
I
he
know.
said out loud he would walk away
I
to
know.
go be there for the birth of his child.
It was him and Sam Burns. Their wives are both about to pop. I
mean,
guess.
That's like added nerve-wracking / focus for him because he was still able to win.
I forgot who said it, but when we were watching it, and like they're walking up when the caddy's like walking up at the end, someone's like, "Oh, I wonder if he's telling him his wife's been in labor for the last 6 hours." I didn't tell him.
I had that discussion with a buddy of mine. He goes, "You're the caddy." She goes into labor and he's still got 9 holes to play. Do you tell him?
Do you?
And I was like, I absolutely tell him. He goes, I'm not telling him.
I
That guy's on
wouldn't.
a run. I was like, I'd tell him. You wouldn't?
No,
Gosh.
absolutely not. What if he just left? Then that would lose a lot of.
But he won the
lose a lot of
Masters,
money.
what, 2 years ago?
But yeah, no, I get it. First child, I guess.
First Masters, maybe something different. But he'd
I
already
think
won
if
one.
I was the wife, I would say just finish it out.
That's good.
That would what
That's-
I would do.
Send this baby to college.
Yeah. Times 50.
Yeah, I'll be fine.
I'll be fine. It's fine. It's childbirth. Everybody does it.
Was it a first baby?
Yeah.
So yeah, like he'd already won the Masters once, had never had a baby. So I'm picking the baby.
Sure.
Personally.
Yeah.
From the dad's shoes. I get it.
Yeah.
I'm with you,
I
Scotty.
don't know.
I have not been out golfing yet, but I'm jealous
Yeah.
that you have. But I shall. And actually, I saw that our little local indoor golf simulator right here in Old Town called The Turn. If you guys haven't been there, you should. They're starting their next golf league at the beginning of May. So
nice.
it might be kind of fun. It's $200 a person, and you get 6 or 8 weeks.
Yeah.
So it might be kind of fun as a
That's nice. I like the golf simulators in the winter.
Yeah.
Just because summer, it's nice to get outside, see where your ball's actually going.
Oh, and the sunshine.
Yeah.
Sunshine's good for you.
Mm-hmm.
Makes me happy.
Definitely. What else?
Let's see. Only a few weeks left of school for my family. So
Oh, yeah.
as we end
That's
school,
crazy.
I know. As we end school, we are literally leaving town that Sunday for a week to go on a road trip with my in-laws.
That'll be fun.
That's a good sound for it.
Are you guys?
No, I love them. I don't want to make it sound like that.
It
It was your honest reaction, which I loved. That's perfect. No,
Okay.
so
Sorry.
every
Sorry,
year
Jeannie.
for the last few years, Jeannie and I have tried
Didn't
to
mean it.
visit. It's okay. They're lovely humans. So, and they don't listen to podcasts, so they will never hear this. I don't think my wife listens to it either, so we're safe. But we as a family have tried to visit new ballparks, new baseball fields every year, one.
Mm-hmm.
And so this year we are going to Kansas City to go see a Royals game.
That'll be nice.
Yeah, and her dad's a huge baseball fan, so it's going to
Yeah.
be fun to be able to see them. They're playing the Padres, and we'll spend a few days there eating barbecue and seeing what that city's about. So
That'll be
I'm sure
cool.
they'll be in a great mood because they won a Super Bowl. So whatever. But the rest will be fun. So
Yeah.
How
Long
about you?
drive though.
Yeah, but
Not much going on there.
yeah,
But that's okay.
I feel like it'll be all
You
right.
guys can play like the ABC game or something.
Yeah. Well, when I'm driving on those long trips, I kind of zone everybody in the car out, which is, it's okay. It's like alone time, even though
puts
there's
me
4
to
people in the
sleep.
car.
In Kansas, there's just
Yeah.
nothing.
There's nothing.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
It'll
I-70 is just boring.
flat. A lot of
Put
flat.
on some
There
movies.
is a massive truck stop along the way somewhere that you may want to stop at. I don't know if it's a Buc-ee's, but
No, I don't think it is, but I know what you're talking about because I think because I used to drive out to see Tina in St. Louis when she was living there going to med school there. So I would take a road trip to go out there to visit her, and a couple times a year, and we'd stop. I don't remember what it is, but I think you're right. There's a huge, small city.
it's an oasis.
Yeah.
In the middle of the rolling amber waves of grain.
Amber waves of
That's
grain.
beautiful.
No purple
How
mountains,
beautiful.
majesties.
That's all there is.
Yeah.
And a tumbleweed or two.
Yeah.
You know what? This could potentially be a really good segue into uncharted areas of Colorado to talk about the beer we're drinking. I wouldn't say this is uncharted, but
Yeah. It's different. It's not in the Denver metro area.
yeah.
So we are drinking today Soulcraft Brewing. Soulcraft Brewing. And they are out of Salida, Colorado.
Which there was some debate over where Salida falls in Colorado
I think I
right
was
before
confused by what Phil was saying.
we
But
started recording. We do have fact checker Phil in the room today, and actually he was fact checking against Nicole, where Salida is. It's in Colorado.
it's just south of Buena Vista.
If I was describing it to somebody, I'd say it's near Buena Vista. It's in Colorado. It's a wonderful town.
It's cool. It's in like the Banana Belt area. And then there's the Arkansas River goes by it. Lots of rafting and kayaking out there. Good rock climbing.
And I think
So
pretty good.
Good outdoor oasis.
Yeah, pretty good bike trails over there too,
Yep.
from what I hear.
Mhm.
Not too far away is Mount Princeton Hot Springs.
Oh, that place is phenomenal.
Oh my gosh, talk about an oasis!
Yeah.
Mount
I love that
Princeton's
place.
Hot Springs.
They have really
Awesome.
cool little cabins you can rent.
Mhm.
That are right up
They
next to
always
those
seem
little
to be full,
pools.
though. Maybe I just don't book in
It's popular.
advance. It is.
Yeah, I went to my good friend Bob got married at Mount Princeton
Really?
and at the Hot Springs resort or whatever there, and it was a gorgeous setting, and having rooms there was sweet. That was a really good idea for a wedding. It was awesome. We had a really
Yeah.
good time.
That is cool.
But yeah, it's beautiful down there.
Morning after, you can go soak and sweat out the alcohol.
Yep, just get it all reset. Is what it is.
There you
That's
go.
exactly what it's for. So yeah, we have some delicious beers. We were looking for something we hadn't tried yet. So Soulcraft falls into that category. And this is a shout out for you, James, if you're listening, because I know you spend a lot of time in Salida. So there you go, buddy. This one I'm drinking is the All Mountain Amber, 6%. It is a dry amber.
Really?
Yes, if you want to give
Yeah,
it a
let's
sip there, because I don't know. I'm typically used to them being a little more caramely, not sweet, but caramely. But that's like and I haven't had any of the pale ale,
Yeah,
the
it still
IPA,
has a little caramel taste to it, but it's not like super duper sweet.
Yeah.
So I see what you're saying.
yeah. So it, but it's real tasty. It's going down real nice on this 70-degree day.
Yeah, it's a good
That's
day.
for sure.
Do you want to try this one?
Yeah, I do. What are you drinking?
So I am drinking Low Viz, which is a hazy pale ale. And it is also 6%.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, it's good.
Man. Is that what you're drinking? That is
hazy,
marvelous.
hop forward.
There it is.
A little fruity. My favorite type of beers.
Yeah, and just like the right balance of bitterness on there. So it's like, I don't know. It tastes right. Kind of just hits the tongue in all the right ways. Oh, I like that.
And it's a pale, so it's not quite as intense as like a hazy IPA.
Not kicking you in the face. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Looks like a pretty rad place too. And James, if you want to chime in via the comments or however that works, or call me later. But I mean, the setting looks sweet. They look like they have a pretty good menu. Yeah. And then I thought this was really unique. I was looking on their website and they have this almost like an open calendar to, if you're a musical performer, you can just put yourself in on a day to come in and perform. So it's almost like a
really cool
constant open mic. I don't know if it's open mic necessarily. Yeah. I don't know, but thought it was kind of cool. So, and I mean, in that setting.
Yeah, you just got to be careful. Who knows who will sign up.
That's true. That's true.
Is it open today?
Some street busker.
He's not singing. He's just screaming.
Ooh.
Oh, gosh. I know.
Screaming and then blowing into a saxophone and making no sound.
He legit plays the guitar, but his singing is just...
Beautiful.
Wow.
That's what you need.
What if he listens to our podcast?
He's one of them.
You need some voice instructions, buddy.
Yeah.
Nico's offering them.
if that's the case and you are listening, sir, you know who you are. Call us.
We're sorry.
We'll see if we can hook you up with Nico's voice lessons. So Soulcraft, worth checking out. Able to find him here on this side of the mountains. So, I mean, I think it's...
Warrior Liquor.
Yeah, Warrior Liquor over there on 64th and Ward. Yes, we love you. You guys rock. So, yeah, worth checking out. What are we doing here today?
Well, we're a little late. It's April 17th today. But we are going to do our April market update because we got some numbers to let you guys know and fill you in on. So the March stats are in, and we are ready to dive in.
Well, and I think it's an important time to talk about not only the numbers, we're going to talk about the elephant in the room with this.
What elephant?
With this industry. The
Phil?
one sitting over in the other corner. Phil's over here. With the NAR, the National Association of Realtors settlement around the way things are done in our industry. Right. So we're not going to dive deep on it. We are actually going to do a separate deep dive episode on that because I think it's worth talking about and being honest about because I think a lot of things are becoming more transparent through that. But we're going to touch on it briefly as far as, we always talk about what's this mean for buyers, what's this mean for sellers as far as the market stats and the updates. So we'll dive into that a little bit. But starting with the numbers, residential numbers. So for the month of March 2024, the average home price in the Denver metro area was $703,330. That is over 4% increase from February. So in 1 month, we saw the spring season start to click in a little bit.
Yep.
The median home price, which we really base a lot of our stuff off of, was $595,000, which is a 3.5% increase from February. Mm-hmm. If you break that up, detached, so single family homes, median home price was $645,000, which is a 2.38% increase from February. And then the attached, so townhome, condo, all those good things, median home price was $420,000, an almost 4.5% increase from February. So numbers are ticking upwards.
Right.
Lots and lots of increases. Seeing that overall median price in March was up 4.89% compared to last year. So, we kind of
going up.
Yeah, it's still going up.
Going up compared to last year prices.
Well, and I think that's important to note from an investment standpoint. Mm-hmm. A lot of people worry about the housing market doing this, doing that, doing the other. But the reality is it's still and always probably will be
at least in Colorado.
Yeah. Legitimate investment for the long haul. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so diving in a little bit more to the numbers. So the average days in MLS for March was 40 days Okay, 40 days on market. And that's compared to 46 days in February. So those have been coming down. That would be a 13.04% decrease from February's numbers. And then breaking that down, that's 39 days on average for detached homes, and then 42 days on average for attached homes, so those townhomes and whatnot. There were quite a few active listings at month's end, 5,849, and that's up 6.13% from February's month's end of 5,511. So we are up 29.52% from March of 2023 month's end active listing. And then the amount of closed homes in March was 3,512, which is up 13.4% from February and down about 13.3% from March of 2023. So we had less homes closed in March of this year, but more than February.
Yeah, and that's probably indicative of, March of...
The listings coming on sooner.
Yeah, in March of last year, I think there was a very different buyer and seller behavior.
Yeah.
So we're seeing it very, very different now.
Yeah. There were 4,932 new listings in the month of March, which was a 16.27% increase from February and down 3.28% from March of 2023. Average close to list price was 99.75% for residential homes. And then here's a number we will say.
I have thoughts on this.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm excited to hear them. So interest rates, this is interesting. Like just in the last couple of weeks, they have gone up quite a bit because originally I had looked, a week ago, I looked last week on April 9th and they were at 7.06%. So today, like I said, is April 17th. And they are at 7.5% for a 30-year conventional loan. So really just over the weekend, it popped up 0.5%.
We had this discussion earlier. Phil was in the room for that, and then the other managing brokers for our offices. And I really liked this thought process. I don't remember if it was Michelle who said it or if it was Valerie, but it doesn't matter. It was the idea of, it's not about getting political necessarily, but if the current administration stays the course and the economy is doing well, they have no reason to lower rates. If there's a change in administration, there's a good chance rates go down. And if the economy does not continue to do well with the current administration, then rates will probably go down so that they make themselves look better and this is all leading up to the election this year. So the thought around just making yourself look good, which is what all politicians like to do, then no matter what, there's a chance we see a lowering of rate. Mm-hmm. The only scenario where that probably doesn't happen is if the current economy stays good, current administration stays in office, then they probably stay where they're at because they would have no reason to lower them. All this is leading up to a thought of, I agree with kind of what was going on in that room when we were talking, saying there's a chance we don't see them really come down that much this year. Which I know is not what people want to hear. And it's not necessarily what we have been hearing because a lot of the predictors have said things like, by the end of 24, it'll be down in the 6s and into 25, it'll be in the 5s.
Yeah.
So
I don't know.
I don't mean to be Johnny Raincloud, but that's a real possibility. It's a real thing to think about. And all the more reason why we're not going to tell you what to do, but vote. Please vote. Please, for the love of God, vote. And do the right thing. Anyway, do us all a favor. As far as kind of some deeper dive numbers on segments of the market, so talking about homes priced at $1 million or more, which is a growing market in Colorado. Close to list price on those in the month of March was 99.09%, so basically hitting list price. In February, that was 98%, so they're getting close to that list price, meaning sellers are getting more of what they want. They had an average of 48 days on the market, whereas in February, that was 53, so that's coming down.
Right.
In the segment of 750,000 up to $1 million, close to list was at 99.86%, so almost dead on at the list price, 38 days on the market. And in February, that was a little bit lower than that, 99.36%, but 56 days on the market.
Yeah.
So a drastic drop in the number of days that those homes are sitting on the market.
Definitely.
And then that sweet spot for kind of the realm of first-time home buyers, maybe the move-up buyers.
Yeah,
from
I'd say move up.
500 to 750,000. Close to list price was 100.13.
Yeah.
So that tells me competitive.
Right.
More buyers because they're driving the price towards or even above the list price a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And number of days on market was 39, whereas in February, the number was 99.6%, so below list price, and 46 days on market. So there again, those numbers of days on market are dropping.
Yeah. Looks like 500 to 750 was the most competitive in the month of March.
And once again, we apologize for not having the numbers for 500 and below. The Denver Metro Association of Realtors numbers that we pull, for some reason, don't show those. And I think that's such an important and crucial market right now because that truly is the first-time home buyer realm.
Yeah.
So if you are curious and you are a first-time home buyer, I think it's important to reach out to Nicole or myself, talk with us because we have a lot of thoughts on how we are perceiving that market right now. So I think it's important to just have that discussion with your trusted agent, and likely they're sitting at this table. So of course. Okay, so let's
dive in.
Yeah, let's talk about what this means. So on the buy side, spring market is a thing. We talk about seasonality in this business all the time. We're there. Spring has sprung, and you see the competitiveness in a lot of the different areas, multiple offers in different segments, different neighborhoods. Location is going to matter huge on this still.
I agree.
And I think that that's an important piece. If you're a buyer who's flexible with where you are, that can play to your strength. That can play to your favor. If you don't want to compete and you maybe don't mind being in a different neighborhood than a lot of the other people or whatever it is, I think it's smart. My overall summary is being able to really strategize your approach with your agent. So, first and foremost, are you playing the right game? Do you have your pre-approval for the right amount that is comfortable for you? And are you all the way there with your lender? What I mean by that is fully underwritten with your lender. Lenders have they're salespeople just like real estate agents, and they will tell you that you're pre-approved for $400,000. All that means is that they've pulled your credit and they have signs of your income saying, should be fine. They haven't done the full vetting process of you as a borrower, knowing full well that you can close that loan. So there's a chance that there could still be some hiccups in the process. So fully vetting through the entire underwriting process with the lender, ask that question. If you are a buyer right now and you have not done this before, or even if you have, and you're working with a lender, ask them, can you get me fully underwritten before I go offer on a house?
Yeah.
That's going to speed up the process. It's going to make you a much more desirable buyer to that seller if you're competing. And it's going to make sure you're playing with live ammunition. Yeah. There's fewer guesswork involved.
Good point. Very good advice.
So I think that's huge. Oh, I love that sound. I think we'll join you soon here. As I rant about lenders, I'm getting more and more thirsty.
Oh, yes. Delicious.
The other thought is knowing full well, talk through all the costs of buying a home.
That's a good point.
Closing costs are one thing. Your lender can estimate those for you.
Yep.
You have to pay for an inspection.
Yes.
Odds are your appraisal is going to be looped into those closing costs with the lender.
Yep.
There are other factors involved. Your earnest money, your down, so to speak, your deposit as you're buying a home. You have to know that you have some cash available. So you really have to kind of strategize that as well.
And along with inspection, you want to do the sewer inspection and a radon test. So there's other things along with that too.
Absolutely. That's a good point too.
Yeah.
There's not just one home inspection. Sometimes you may need a specialist out there, an electrician to look at something specific.
Yeah.
Or whatever it may be. So sewer scope, absolutely. In the world of Colorado, that is too important.
Yes.
One thing I will say is that we've come out of a time where sellers had a little more power, when it was very competitive. And there's still some holdover behavior with sellers maybe having some unrealistic expectations of what they think they can get for their home or how think
fast it will sell.
How they think the process will go. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
So I think you use that to your advantage, especially if there is that seller that's adamant that I won't give too many details, but I know of a property that is very clearly overpriced. The homeowner asked me my opinion, and right after they told me they already had a realtor, they asked me my opinion of the home price, and I told them, And they said, well, if I get a penny less than that plus 50,000, if I get a penny less than 650, it's not even worth it for me. And I told them that the home is probably right around 600,000, just from my ballpark guess, knowing the neighborhood very well, as I do. It's my neighborhood. So knowing that and where they're priced, which is above 650,000, it sits and it's 32 days on the market. That's going to happen. If it's overpriced, it's going to sit. It's just the way it is. No matter how competitive the market gets, people are not going to overpay like they used to.
They aren't anymore. It's true.
They're more savvy. So there are those unrealistic expectations for sellers. You can take advantage of that if you look at the number of days on market. I talked about location. I think it's really important to know where you're looking. That $400,000 to $700,000 range is probably, well, $350,000 to $700,000, probably the most competitive range.
Yeah.
So if you know you're falling into that bucket, you're going to have to strategize with your agent on what's going to make your offer more competitive.
Yeah. And location too, like you said.
Very much so.
Yeah.
Ways that you make that offer more competitive, you look at how your dates and deadlines are listed out in there. This is kind of in the weeds on how the process goes, but that can make or break the deal. If you say you're fully underwritten and you can close in 2.5 weeks, that's better than a 30-day closing.
Absolutely.
If that's important to the seller.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's probably the ultimate thing. Yeah. Know that your agent is going to ask the question. I ask that question. I'm sure you do when you're working with a buyer. You call up that listing agent. You say, what's most important to your seller? Mm-hmm. I want this offer to look like something they want.
Right.
And that's known, so I think that's important to be able to say that.
Sometimes it's price. Sometimes it's a post-closing occupancy agreement. Sometimes it's
a quick close.
Yeah, quick close.
Yep.
Lots of different things. So a smooth close.
Yeah.
It can be a lot.
Well, in working with a RE/MAX Alliance agent, it's probably going to be a smooth transaction. So there you go. That decision's made for you. Mm-hmm. Last but not least, I do want to talk about what the current litigation settlement around the National Association of Realtors will do to impact the buying side of this. And like I said, I'm not going to get too deep into it, but the reality of it is one of the pieces of the ruling made it seem as though, and I actually had this conversation with a very educated friend of mine. He's very smart, very savvy, very successful in his business. Mm-hmm. He is getting ready to list his property in Denver.
Yep. And
he told me, but I feel like I'm not going to get any buyers, Nick. Buyers aren't going to be able to pay their agents. So all these buyers are going to go away. I was like, that's not what's happening.
Yeah.
And I didn't say it to try and make him feel dumb. I just said, I want to make sure that
right.
The news has made it sound as though buyers now will have to pay their agents 100% of the time. And that was his perception. The truth of the matter is, and this is what a lot of people have been saying, and this is the reality of it, and this has always been the reality of it, is that commissions are negotiable to this point in our last 40 years in this industry. If there was a buyer's agent involved in the process, typically the seller/listing agent side would help pay that fee, that success fee for the buyer's agent. Not always, with the proceeds of the home. So that piece hasn't necessarily changed. It's just the way it's being talked about now.
Yeah.
So there's more transparency around it, which is good. The way we negotiate and talk about commissions is more at the forefront now, which I think is good for our industry. And I have a lot of personal opinions on it. I won't dive into it here because that's just me. But as James, as you know, because we've talked about this numerous times, and for anybody else that's interested, talk to us, call us, ask us those questions. We want to talk them through with you. From if you're looking to buy or if you're looking to sell, like what does that mean for me, or what would that mean hypothetically if?
Yeah.
And what do I need to do, and how do you get paid? How do you get paid as a buyer's agent? That's a good thing to know.
Yep.
I'm done ranting. I'm sorry.
Okay. No, that's good. That's good. It's all good things. So just diving a little deeper, what does it mean for our sellers? So we're definitely, like Nick said, we're definitely feeling the spring market. There's more new listings, more closed listings, more active listings at month's end in March. So we are seeing that, and the numbers are also showing less days on market as well. So meaning houses are moving a bit faster. As a seller, it's important to take advantage of that larger buyer pool right now. The spring market is typically when there's quite a few buyers out. They are looking to buy. And, what I mean by that is just be really prepared. And I know we've talked about this a lot, but I do think it's especially important right now to make sure that your house is looking tip-top shape, make sure you're pricing it right. Opening weekend, make sure there's a lot of marketing around it, and even in open houses. I think those are great. All good things. But then, as Nick talked about as well, buyers are more picky right now. With the higher interest rates, they can be more picky, and they should be more picky. You're paying more.
Absolutely.
Right. So you're paying more each month for your house.
Yeah, and I think it's important to treat that opening weekend. Before streaming services, there was opening weekend for movies. Mm-hmm. And they looked for that blockbuster hit. First weekend, they did, $200 million or whatever it was. That's how you should treat the opening weekend of listing your home. I'm going to set this up so that so many eyes are on it.
Yep.
And that takes that strategy piece.
So that is the goal. That's always the goal.
100%.
But just to dive a little deeper, like we said, the reality of it, buyers are more picky. There's only so much you can do sometimes. If your location's a little bit not in that high desired area, or if just certain things that you can't necessarily change or spruce up. So with that being said, I think it's just really important to also have a plan as a seller. If your house if it's been sitting on the market for a little longer, even before you go to market, talk about the different things you can do to try and get it to be sold quicker.
It's a great idea.
Either lowering the price. Here's just a few options, like lowering the price, talk about concessions being offered to the buyer. Obviously, reverse prospecting by the agent is really important. Just reaching out to those agents who have clients that match your home search or your listing search. Freshen up the property if needed. Sometimes if it's sitting for a while, it might need a new fresh coat of paint. So that might be an option too.
Or even the general maintenance, make sure the lawn stays mowed.
Make
sure the house, there's little stuff like that, especially in the spring.
Especially now. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's a good point. And then also just another one, marketing to investors. I think that's also a good idea. So I will touch just briefly as well on the settlement for sellers. What does that mean? I just think you just need to talk about it. Commissions have always been negotiable. And the important thing to know, I guess my biggest takeaway for sellers is know that when you are talking about it and setting this up at the beginning, it's not necessarily the smartest move to just say, I'm not paying the buyer's commission. If you do that, you're going to lose out on a big buyer pool because some buyers just can't pay that out of pocket. They're going to need to pay it and have it looped into the loan. So just know you're either going to bring down that buyer pool or most likely bring down the offer price if you are not offering to pay the buy side commissions with the proceeds that come from the house.
And there was a recent update, and I don't know all the info on it yet, but this idea of being able to roll the buyer agent commission fee, or whatever you want to call it, into a concession or a credit at closing was something that was previously not allowed by Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac as far as a conventional loan goes, as well as FHA and VA. Not allowed to bring in, not allowed to do that at all. As of yesterday, I think, or I think I saw it yesterday and today online. And I looked at Fact Checker Phil because he probably knows more about it than I do. That is starting to turn. That Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac have talked about allowing to increase that percentage on concessions in order to allow for that, not necessarily to be, not directly looped into the loan, but the seller can offer more concessions to offset what would be a buyer agent commission. Yeah. So the rules around it are changing. The industry is morphing with it. Right. Which is good.
And we don't know exactly what it's going to look like. We have to wait and kind of, I think, feel it out. But this is just an overview and just kind of the rules that we've been given and what we think might come out of it. Yeah. So Nick and I will dive deeper into it in a different episode.
But I think it'll be good to see it as it continues, because we're also in a stage right now where the judgment hasn't been ruled upon yet. It's just a settlement that's been proposed. So nothing is concrete yet. We know there's going to be some changes in our industry as far as how we have to actionably do certain things. But as of right now, nothing is like for sure. But as
we
Nicole
are
said,
still buying and selling real estate.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There's people out there. They need places to live or
Yes.
they need to move for
Yep.
whatever reason. So we are here. We now more than ever want to be your advisors, your resource, your trusted ear, your trusted voice. So please call us. Please talk to us. We want to make sure that, if you're scared, if you're worried, if you're confused, if you don't understand it, if you're hearing this from us for the first time going, settlement? What's that? Like, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's great. Let's have the conversation. And we want to do that
Even
for
if
you.
you're looking to rent a house, let us know too. We can probably help you out too.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
lots of different options.
100%.
Give us a call.
So as always, we appreciate you guys. We love our listener pool, and we hope you guys see value in everything that we're doing every single time. We're going to try and nail down an on-site episode pretty soon, I think. So stay tuned for that. We may be able to
we need to do one.
become
right,
somewhere
Nico?
come somewhere live. And
We've been talking about it for
yes, we have.
So
It's time to put our money where our mouth is. I'm not ready to talk about it yet. I'm not ready to talk about it yet.
Okay.
Not ready to.
We'll see. Stay tuned.
That's true. And thank you as well to Soulcraft, because man, that was delicious. And
Delish.
I need to finish mine because it's staring at me. If you haven't already, please click the subscribe button on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or YouTube. We want those follows. It really helps us with algorithm things. If you click that, it helps us get in front of more people. I've learned that. I've done a little bit of research on how podcasts work. Not much, and that is true. If you do that and share it around to your friends on Instagram or whatever, it actually gets us out there to more people in general. So please do that. Otherwise, stay tuned for our next episode. We hope this has been valuable to you. And as always, cheers.
Cheers. Cheers, Nico. Are you out, Phil?